Let me first of all take this opportunity to welcome Sri Arun Jaitley as the new I&B Minister. He's taken that additional charge. And also Sri Raghavendra Rathore, who's joined in as Minister of State for Information Broadcasting. It is indeed a very good news for all of us in this sector, because I think it is after a very long time that there is a minister and a Minister of State in Information and Broadcasting. And it is also a great team in my judgment, because Sri Arun Jaitley brings with him a lot of experience and wisdom, and Sri Raghavendra Rathore brings with him a lot of youth, completely fresh ideas. He's a first-time minister, first-time MP if I'm not mistaken, and also the person who's sort of going to bring in the thinking of New India, the ambition, a person who's sort of risen through the ranks in the armed forces and also done the country proud in winning that Olympic silver medal. So overall, a very, very warm welcome to the new team, and I'm delighted about it. I think media and entertainment as a sector, in my judgment, is a new sunrise sector for India. And I say that because we are under-indexed on every count. We are under-indexed, if you look at it at a very macro level, at less than 1% of the GDP. Whereas in most countries, media and entertainment as a sector operates upwards of 2%, around 2.5%. So there is that much room. So it actually could be the 2x in a hurry, if not that. We are also under-indexed as an economy, as a media and entertainment sector on different other aspects. So if you look at our screen density, which is number of screens to 1,000 people when it comes to films, if you look at the ARPUs when it comes to our subscription income in broadcast sector, if you look at advertising rates in India, one of the cheapest in the world. So there is so much room to grow, and it's such a dynamic sector that I'm absolutely delighted that this team is here. I also feel that in this sector, India has a competitive advantage. And why do I say that? I say that because there are a few things which are there in India which most countries do not have, and let me now articulate that. First of all, we are a very large country, 1.2 billion people, so therefore there is a market in that sense. Also because we have 1.2 billion people, a lot of them young people, many of them very digitally savvy and very connected, both within the country and perhaps with the world. They are bubbling with ideas. That's the second big plus which we have. The third big advantage we have as a country is we are a democracy, where we've allowed freedom of speech and where there is the thought and ideas flow. So therefore innovation and ability to create has in some ways been in the DNA of Indians. So a combination of the scale and the size which we offer, the institutions which have got nurtured in this country and allowing freedom of speech, and youth and the talent and its ability to deal with the new dynamic world, which is both digital as well as creative, gives us a competitive advantage in this sector. I think we need to bring in this new thinking of New India to make new rules for this sector. And I would like to I'd like to repeat this. We need the new thinking for the New India to bring in the new rules for this sector. And what are they? If I was to lay down the principles on which I would emphasize to the new team, I think the four key principles are, first of all, this sector is a consumer sector. So I think, and so therefore media is a consumer industry, period. Unfortunately, a lot of the rules and regulations, and maybe even the behavior of the industry in general, has been more B2B rather than B2C. So I think we need to look at it as a B2C sector where you have consumers at the center of it and regulate it if need be likewise. And therefore it has to be a very light touch where you allow a lot of freedom in many areas, but keep a few guardrails so that you ensure that we are operating in the right sphere. So I'm comfortable with the few guardrails, but at the same time, I want far more freedom at elbow room. So that's the first principle. The second principle, which is important, which I think more of us as an industry need to do, but maybe we'll need some help from the government and the policymakers, is in the area of measurement. Measurement in this industry is currency of transaction. It's beyond measurement being done in many other industries. So therefore, the quality of measurement needs to be dialed up, and I'm happy that work is happening in BARC, where again that would help. So that's the second piece. The third piece, which I wanted to highlight, is in the area of, as we move forward, is in the area of cooperation. I think media and entertainment is such a dynamic sector that our ability to sort of grow will be dependent on how we partner and cooperate. Now, whether it is with industry, with the policymakers, whether it is within industries, players within the same media and entertainment industry, or it is even partnership with media and entertainment industry and other players, whether it is the manufacturers of devices or whether it is telecom players. So I think it's the ability to understand the entire ecosystem and operate and work in a cooperative fashion, which is important. And finally, it will be incorrect for me to not lay the fourth principle, which I think is about building capacity. And I think it's important that we build capacity in this industry, most importantly, human capital and human capacity. So therefore, there is room for formal training, dialing up a lot of this raw talent into talent which can be honed to develop and deliver, not only for India as a market, but perhaps globe as the full market. So I think those are my messages. If I was to give one big idea, I would sign off by saying, taking with the theme of Make in India of Shri Narendra Modi ji, I would like to say that we should again take the theme of Make in India, even in the media and entertainment sector. We should make India the global manufacturing hub of content, because we pride ourselves in freedom of speech and freedom of thought. And I think, we should make in India, show the world. If there are 4 specific requests I could make to the new team, very specific areas on which we could look at, I think the first and foremost would be digitization, and ensuring that digitization of the cable industry is now done based on the new calendar which is being laid out on 15th of December and December 2015 and December 2016. But more importantly in digitization for me, the importance is to be addressing both addressability of the consumer and the digitization of the signal. And addressability of the consumer is where we all need to come together and find a place. So that's the first thought I want to leave with. The second has been a request, and it's now wonderful that we have Shri Arun Jaitley, who's the finance minister, is also our information and broadcasting minister, is to talk about certain areas where there is instance of either higher taxation or double taxation. And very specifically, if you look at it in entertainment and ticketing, the taxation levels are very, very high, and there is room for rationalizing them. I think that's the second request I would have. The third request I had is to actually, as we've opened up a lot of the media sector, to look at radio. And in radio, I was looking at the new initiative of Shri Narendra Modi on Man Ki Baat. And how he's been beautifully able to communicate with people. I think radio as a medium is still a powerful medium to communicate with people. I think the next round of auctions, in third round of auction for FM, will be even more successful if the rules are laid out clearly, and 2, if the news is allowed even for private radios, because we allow news when it comes to print in private area, we allow up to 26% in electronic media on news. I think therefore our ability to allow people to do that. Again, I'm with you on terms of boundaries and making sure, and I'm sure that if somebody makes a big mistake, he should be rapped on the knuckle. But allowing people to do that, that's important. So that's the third piece. And finally, I think a request, maybe cutting across our businesses, is a single window clearance. With e-governance, which government is talking about now, giving single window clearance for our film production, for our events, for many of the other things would go a long way. So if I could take a quick recap, it's about digitization and ensuring addressability within that. It's about taxation, making it more rational. It's about allowing news on FM radio. And finally, it's about single window clearance and ensuring that it's implemented.